Tonight we're going to make Korean beef with simple candied carrots. To start, we're going to take just some nice beef that we got from the local grocer. This is locally grown and organic, which again we prefer. And we're just going to slice this beef in fairly small slices. Kind of thin. We're going to keep a little bit of the fat that's already with it. It is sort of a fattier cut of meat, but that's because of the way we're going to cook it. So still, even with the amount of fat that's on here, and I will trim some of it, it's still going to be a dinner that's going to be less than 400 calories. And since we're trying to stay within about 300 to 400 calories, that's really going to help. A lot of people have dinner as the main meal for their day. I have to turn this down a little. And so they want something a little bit heavier. I kind of prefer my bigger meal in the middle of the day, but since I'm the one making it, not the one, that I'm trying to appeal to, we're going to do it like most people like it. So we're going to take our beef and we're going to put it in a sealable 1-gallon bag. It's just sliced kind of thin. To this, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. Sesame oil is a little thick, smells really good. 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds. 1 tablespoon of rice wine. And about a ½ teaspoon of coarse ground salt. I'm going to seal this and let it start marinating. Now this is a great recipe if you want to start it early in the morning and put it in the refrigerator for 2 or 3 hours to really pick up all these lovely flavors. But it's also a good meal when you come home from work. You want to make something flavorful, fresh, wholesome, and really good in a short period of time. So we're going to set this aside while we go ahead and chop our garlic. We want 6 cloves of garlic. I'm just going to take that peel off the outside to expose that nice clove. Garlic is something I like in most everything. I really love the flavor. And it's nice because depending on how thin you chop it, it actually can add texture to what you're eating and cooking. This one doesn't want to let go of its little peel here. Okay. I find it helps to peel garlic if you take 1 tip off at least. It generally tends to peel a little easier. Two more. And once we chop up the garlic, then we're going to mince some onions. Going to add some pear. And 1 more. If you don't have a utility knife like this one, any good sharp paring knife will do for mincing or cutting or chopping. I just love this one because it's a little safer to use. does a great job just mincing those up nice and fine. Doesn't have to be too fine. It's going to add some excellent flavor to your Korean beef. Mostly this is just to add flavor, not to really be substance that you're, you know. Remember in the beginning of the program when I first started this, Cooking Yourself Thin, and I said I wasn't a chef, but I love to cook? Guess what? I cut myself. But it's okay, I've got it doubly band-aid, so no blood in the food. It's all good. So now we're going to chop our onion. I think even the best chefs in the world cut themselves from time to time. I think that's pretty much maybe a breaking into or whatever. But, all right. Now we're going to take a little bit of this hot red pepper that I grew in my garden, and I dried it. It's just going to add a little flavor and spice. It really isn't, it's not going to add a lot of spice, just a little bit because I dried it. But we're just going to add it for a little bit of extra zing and flavor. Now while I'm working on this, I'm going to take my carrots, because I can hear that my water is boiling behind me. And I'm just going to chop them in half. And I'm going to put them in boiling water. And we don't want these to get mushy. We just want to do them to the point of being cooked but not soft. So a little bit al dente. So I've got this great vegetable pot. You can use any type of pan. It doesn't have to be something like this. And I'm just going to drop those in and let them cook. And in the meantime, remember I talked about my boil and bag rice because I don't want to mess with rice at the end of a hard day. So I've already got my water boiling there. And I'm just going to put that rice right in and let it cook. Both of these are going to take between 5 and 10 minutes. So that gives me time to continue with what I'm doing here to prepare the beef so that we can get it cooked and everything comes together. We're going to use about a teaspoon of diced ginger. Now, you can pre-dice your ginger. You can buy it in a container like I do here. I like being able to not have to fool with it and just take it out of a little container. It's very nice. It's still extremely aromatic and flavorful. And we're just going to kind of mix this together. And the next thing we want to add is pear. We're going to take a half a pear. We're going to core it. And then we're going to dice it up into this mixture. It's really hard to work when you can't feel your thumb. Okay. And this pear just adds a little moisture, a little extra flavor, and of course, you know, Asian pears just are wonderful in anything that you cook. Now, we're going to take the beef again. We're going to open the bag. And now we're going to add everything that I've just diced straight into the bag. This meal really doesn't take very long to make. Just want to kind of roll it around a little bit. Coat everything with that lovely sesame oil and the soy sauce. And if you're allergic to soy, or if you can't use things that have any type of wheat in them, you can certainly make this with something else. But since my husband and I aren't, we're going to go ahead and make this way. So that's ready. We're going to let it sit here just a couple minutes to let it gather that good garlic flavor, the good ginger, kind of let it mix in while I go ahead and heat a little bit of oil in my pan. Again, I like using virgin olive oil. It's clean. It doesn't leave a lot of fat in your food. Another way you can prepare this if you don't want to use any fat is to put it under your broiler. It takes between 3 and 6 minutes, and you just want to make sure that you turn your meat several times during the cooking process when using your broiler. We're going to set our stove on about 7, about a medium heat. Got some oil in here, again, virgin olive oil. My rice is cooking well. My carrots are doing wonderfully. And we're going to candy those carrots in just a few minutes. In the meantime, we'll be back right after this message.